Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Dr. McNinja's The Love Triangle series, where we talk about God, relationships, and how God affects those relationships. Today we are talking about groundwork for joyful relationships. I hate that word. The synonyms for the word relationship include association, affiliation, bond, link, liaison, report, connection, etc., etc., etc. When you extend these synonyms a little further, you will see other words like friendship, union, alliance, attachment, contact, cooperation, involvement, understanding, affinity, empathy, etc., etc., etc. The images that come into my mind as I contemplate these words include social, business, filial, and marriage relationships. The site that I'm using today is groups.biz 2010/10 groundwork for joyful relationships, if you want to look that up so you know that I am not making this stuff up. Relationships are at the root of all forms of human endeavor. Experience has shown that some foundational issues must be fully considered in order for us to build joyful relationships. Some relationships that are critical to human peace, happiness, and growth are those associated with sexes. What? These foundational principles will serve all of the types of relationships very well. It would, however, serve the marriage and associated preliminary foundation relationships, dating and courtship, the best. The foundations of lasting and joyful relationships that lead to growing marriage relationships include friendship, mutual respect, honor, faith in God, trust or faith in one another, clarity of purpose, integrity, virtue, etc. Along with virtue, I'm going to add in purity, because in order for the relationship to be there, we need purity of, we don't need pure, we need purity of mind, we need purity of body, we need purity of spirit to make sure that we are doing the correct thing. Find a relationship that has endured and you will find these elements at its foundation. Find a relationship that has collapsed and you'll find that these virtues were lacking or not strengthened over time. Those men and women relationships that are still there that lack these elements are one of the hundreds of millions of marriage relationships that are the mere caricature of the real thing. Many involved confess feeling trapped, confused, and running high blood pressure. It takes a lifetime to sustain the marriage relationships that are well founded. What is the hope for those built upon the sand of sexual intimacy? Most relationships are hanging on because children are involved, or the partners are afraid of what people would say, or being seen as failures. We all need to know that the depravity of premarital sex is not a mere religious jargon. It is the foundational issue for success in marriage relationships. Avoidance of premarital sex would enable girls to get what they really want, which is a man would care for them. I cannot remember the name of the movie where I heard this quotation. I would use it anyway. Love is one product you cannot sell by giving out sample. And again, this comes directly from the site that I am reading, so know that you will know what my thoughts are in here. The predominant mindset of the ladies, especially those who feel time is running out on them on account of age, seem to be give the man a little booty if you want him to decide to marry you. Nothing can be further from the truth. We have countless cases, but no one seemed to be ready to learn from their past mistakes or the mistakes of their peers. If you give a man a little booty, if you allow a man who has not signed the dotted lines before your church or the law registry, and your parents to see your nakedness or have sexual intimacy with you, you reduce the chance that he will marry you by 90%. That is a big risk That is a big risk. Not only is it a big risk, you risk losing who you are. You risk losing everything about you. Part of the love triangle series is that there needs to be 3 in 1. God up top, God at all points. Everything else is secondary. God matters the most because He will help your relationship succeed. Too many people screw that up because they don't allow God to take control. That is a big risk to run, if you ask me. At the same time, you erode the elements of mutual respect, trust, faith, honor, and virtue by 100%. You run the risk of losing what it means to be in an intimate relationship by so much that you don't know what it means anymore. Meaning, ultimately, if he marries you, there will be no strength in the foundation of that marriage to produce happiness and make it endure. That's why God and purity, they go hand in hand. Take a look what happened to Daniel. No, not Daniel. Take a look at what happened to David. He was a man after God's own heart. He saw Bathsheba naked and bathing, and his heart turned towards lust. It went impure. He sent her husband, Uriah, out to the front lines and made sure that he got killed so that he could have her. That stinks of not only treachery, but treachery to God, treachery to the marriage, and treachery to who you want to be. 3 things that are important. There is a higher doctrine of marriage the world needs to be absolutely considering at this time. That this is the eternal dimension of marriage. The popular thing known to man is till death do us part. Marriage is part of the eternal plan of God for his children. If we plan marriages on till death do we part basis, we increase the chance of failure and heartache. If we plan marriage with a vision of the eternal relationship in mind, we would make the foundation sure beforehand. Like the verse, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but if we build our house on the rock, it is sure to